sorry about that.
I'm Alex Cat, the History Man. Today we'll learn about abolitionists.
John Brown was born May 9th, 1800 in Connecticut. Later on he moved to Ripley, Ohio as an adult, which was a safe haven for African Americans. He was a preacher who turned to violent means for the abolitionist cause. In 1856, he led the Potawatomi Massacre in Kansas. Later on, he failed at the attempt to have a slave revolt in Harper's Ferry, Virginia. He was a white. He died the same year in 1859. So William Lloyd Garrison was born December 12th, 1805. He was born in the state of Massachusetts, and when he became older, he published an anti-slavery newspaper as a way to spread his thoughts on slavery. He was not involved in any violence, but was peaceful. In 1833, he founded the New England Anti-Slavery Society on May 24th, 1879. And on May 24th, 1879, Garrison died. Okay, so Henry Box Brown was born as a slave in 1815 in the state of Virginia. His start of fame was in 1849 when he traveled in a box on a train that went to the north. That's how he got his name, Henry Box Brown. Okay, so later on he would travel around as a speaker and a showman, spreading the word as an abolitionist. But he was later forgotten by Americans, and he later died in 1879. Lucretia Mott was a white Quaker. In 1793, Lucretia Mott was born in Massachusetts. She grew up to be a widely known speaker and eventually founded the Philadelphia Anti-Slavery Society. She never used violence as a means of sharing her ideas. Later, she became known as America's first feminist. She died in 1880. Okay, Harriet Tubman's estimated birth was 1820 in the state of Maryland. She was about 20 years old when she escaped from slavery, and she began to work in the Underground Railroad. She returned to Maryland to help others escape from slavery and made 19 trips and rescued more than 300 slaves. She died in 1913. Stephen Douglas was born in Illinois in 1873. He was the Democratic candidate who ran for president against Abraham Lincoln. He promoted war against the North and the South and the containment of slavery in the South. He died in 1861. Reverend John Rankin was born in 1793 in Tennessee. As an adult, he moved to Ripley, Ohio, and became an abolitionist. He hid, protected, and helped escape slaves and worked in the Underground Railroad. He lived in the highest point of Ripley, which was 540 feet high. Whoa, it's pretty high. Okay. He died in 1886. The Grimke sisters were white. Sarah was born in 1792, and her sister was born in 1805. They lived on a plantation in South Carolina and witnessed the abuse of slaves. As adults, they became famous speakers against slavery. Sarah died in 1873, and Angelina died in 1879. Sojourner Truth was born as a slave in New York, and her real name was Isabella Bumfree. She was emancipated when New York outlawed slavery in 1827, and she spent the rest of her life speaking against slavery and was very peaceful. Truth died in the year of 1883. Denmark Vesey was born in 1767 as a slave in South Carolina. He bought his freedom for $1,500. He developed a vision for change as a young black man. He developed a violent attack on Charleston, but 2 slaves who learned of the plan leaked the information to the authorities. This resulted in the execution of 35 slaves. Nat Turner was born in 1800 as a slave in Virginia. He developed a vision for change as a young black man, just like the last guy. In 1831, he developed a violent attack against Richmond, Virginia, and it resulted in 56 deaths of white people. Later, 56 African Americans were executed, including Nat Turner. John Parker was born in 1827 as a slave in Virginia. He won the lottery and bought his own freedom. He moved to Ripley, Ohio, and started to work on the Underground Railroad, rescuing many escaped slaves. He was very peaceful and died in 1900. Harriet Beecher Stowe was born in 1811. She was a white author who published Uncle Tom's Cabin, which captured the hearts of many Americans. She died in 1896. Lucy Stone was born in 1818. She was a feminist speaker who became a famous abolitionist. She did not promote violence, and like all the other abolitionist speakers, she kept the idea of anti-slavery going in America, but she didn't accomplish anything significant, unlike other people who put their foot down with force. Thank you. Lucy Stone died in 1893. Whoa, this is Lil Wayne! Okay. Dear Alex, the history man, please tell me about Horace Greeley. Okay, Lil Wayne, here it goes. Born in Amherst, New Hampshire in 1811, Horace Greeley was born white. He became known mainly for his work in the New York Tribune, and he joined many anti-slavery societies. As a peaceful man, he died in 1872.